In 1996, when the internet was still a novelty, Sunflower Journeys examined how Kansans were first utilizing the web. Now, here we are, over a decade later. Many Kansans have come to rely on the internet in daily life. In our next story, we visit Lawrence Freenet, a nonprofit company seeking to bring the internet to everyone, regardless of income.
A nonprofit company run out of a small office below a suburban Lawrence mini mall has a rather lofty goal: providing high-speed internet access to people who otherwise can't afford the monthly subscription rates or even the computers to hook up with. Joshua Montgomery is the founder of Lawrence Freenet, and when he's not in his office, can often find himself strapping on safety harnesses and climbing a city water tower to access antennas used in the Freenet project.
We're at the Stratford Water Tower at 18th and Stratford in Lawrence, Kansas. We're at one of the highest points in the state of Kansas right now. We're 150 feet off the ground. There's currently, I think, 14 antennas up on this tower that belong to us. We've been up all of the city's water towers, the four water towers in the city, and we go up them once every week or 2 weeks as we've been building out our installation.
Water towers, or other tall structures, can be thought of as vertical real estate. High points, in this case owned by a city municipality, that can hold antennas for both city use, commercial use, and in this case, nonprofit access to a city right-of-way. This tower provides Lawrence Freenet access to citizens via wireless signals that carry internet traffic.
As part of our working with the city to provide access to low-income users, the city's made the towers available at a significantly reduced rate, and that's one of the key aspects of our project that makes it possible.
The desire for citizens to have access to telecommunication isn't exactly a new idea. When the telephone was a new form of communication, but limited to urban areas, there was an awareness that having the ability to utilize this new form of communication was an important goal to help a society move forward. Government even stepped in to assist in the development of telephone companies in rural areas.
Direct involvement of the government really begins with the loans that were provided by the REA, the Rural Electrification Administration. In the 1930s, it was just for electrical service, but by the end of the 1940s, there was a push to get more and better service of telephones to rural communities, particularly to the farms and small communities, and the decision was made to legislatively give the REA authority to loan money for those kinds of projects. The telephone in Kansas is really becomes kind of a leader in this in some ways, among the top states in applying telephone technology to rural areas. It connects them, according to the arguments of the period, and even I suppose today to a great extent, to markets. Not only local markets, but the world markets. This was something that's been argued for 50 years or more at least, that telephones and now, of course, other modern means of communication can plug the farmer into the system of world trade and world markets that are so important to them.
The rural electric cooperatives, things like that, are still going in Kansas and still functioning. I think the biggest difference is the way people view internet access right now. I think the internet's still viewed as a luxury by a lot of people, so they see it as something that should be provided by a private industry and not something that's done by a cooperative or by the city government, things like that.
The internet is probably the most innovative tool invented in the 20th century. It gives people the ability to understand the world that they live in a much more clear and a much more intuitive way. It indexes information and makes it instantly accessible to anybody, anywhere. And as a result, it's a key component to anybody's education in the modern world.
Well, that's how you get the kids' grades. I can keep up with the kids' grades at school with the internet, because you can go to the school site and find out what their grades are at any time of the day or night. He has had to do many online projects at school, and if we didn't have the internet, that wouldn't work. Just the money that we've been able to save has, well, it's been offset by gas prices, but but at least now I can actually put some gas in the truck, where before, I couldn't. You can't do both. I couldn't do it.
Got to level the playing field as far as kids in school and having access to that, as far as reading comprehension, computer skills in general. But it's important for parents as well, if they're looking for jobs or trying to find new jobs or increase job skills, things like that, to even be able to print out resumes and do things that a lot of people take for granted.
Here, Dave, I got to pull up so I can pull my old antenna box out.
We started in my garage with a itty-bitty little Linksys router, and we started working with Westar Energy, and we got some equipment on some telephone poles, and we kind of went from there. The whole project developed pretty quickly, and we moved from there, and we now have offices, and we now have a support infrastructure that's got 8 or 9 full-time people working, and kind of expanded.
Lawrence Freenet is a 501c4 organization funded by private donations and has paying subscribers that help subsidize the low-income users. To make the system financially feasible, they also have partnerships with other companies to help build the infrastructure needed to operate the network. It's the concept of those who can pay help provide for those who cannot. And the city supports the system via reduced rates for right-of-way access to water towers used as transmission points.
Our agreement for the access to the right-of-way with the city, one of the appendixes lists that if someone is under 180% or 180, 160% of the poverty line, then they qualify for free service. So that way the city guarantees they're getting something for providing us access to the right-of-way.
Volunteers interested in the project help refurbish computers donated to Freenet that are in turn donated to families that don't have one.
There's been a lot of interest from the community. We've had a lot of people sign up that really believe in the concept, and people can feel good paying their bills every month knowing that they're helping to support a community in which everybody has equal access to information. And then we want to take the model that we've built here in Lawrence and expand it out into other communities. So we're actively seeking other cities in Kansas that would be interested in having an organization like ours come in and install a citywide Wi-Fi network without infringing on the taxpayers, without any taxpayer money.
We're trying to find a model where it doesn't cost a lot of public money, but still serves the purpose of getting access to people that can't afford it.